Good morning, everybody. If my voice is audible, could you please let me know on the chat? Thank you, Mahinder, for letting me know. All right, good morning once again. This is Pratibha here. Welcome to this session. This session is a session on verbal ability, keeping the WIPRO Elite NLTH 2021 in mind. I hope all of you all had a great week, and I'm sure you'll have an even better weekend. Meanwhile, I hope you all have started preparing for the WIPRO test in full earnest. So before we start, a little about Ethnus. So we have been helping students realize their dreams for the last 14 years, helping them prepare for the company aptitude tests, helping them prepare for their interviews, gear up for their future, that is the career that they are looking forward to. So we have been helping them do all of this, and what we are doing right now, conducting these YouTube sessions, is also a part of it. And like I just said, this is about the WIPRO test. We have been conducting a lot of other sessions too. We are going to conduct WIPRO sessions too, and information about these sessions are shared with you on our Telegram channel. So if you are not already part of that channel, please do join. The link is up on the chat. Wait for a few seconds and you will find the link on the chat, and please use that link to join our Telegram group. So information about the sessions that we conduct, about the drives that are happening, all of it is available there. So ensure that you are part of that group. All right, so now we start with the verbal ability session. Now WIPRO conducts their Elite NLTH test, in which they have an aptitude section which includes, of course, your quantitative aptitude and reasoning and English language, that is verbal ability. So you can expect maybe around 16 to 18 questions related to verbal ability. Let us look at a few questions, the kinds of questions that generally appear. All right, so as usual, I will be displaying questions and will be giving you some time to answer. Select the right option and then we will discuss the right answer. All right, so I hope all of you all are ready. Let us start. So here you have a sentence where one word is underlined. You need to find you need to select that option which can be used instead of the underlined word. Okay, so basically you are looking for a synonym. So here are your choices and your time starts now. look at the options and decide what is the right answer according to you. And please do answer, no negative marking, so please do answer. Okay, I see one answer. Two answers. Okay, three. Waiting for some more. Okay, all right. So time's up. And I see enjoy themselves, having fun, struggling. I think other than jumping happily, all the other options have been given as answers, right? So let us look at what is the right option. Thank you for those responses. Let us look at what is the right answer. Now, the sentence, let me quickly read it. The sledge dogs were floundering through the deep snow. Sledge dogs are dogs that pull sledges on the snow, okay, and they were floundering through the deep snow. Now, floundering, if you know the meaning of floundering, then it's of course very easy to decide what the correct answer is, all right. But if you are not sure, okay, if you are sure, of course there is no explanation required, you will just select the right option. If you are not sure, you can still try to make a calculated guess, right? You don't want to leave that question and not answer it because there is no negative marking, right? So try to make a calculated guess. So how can you make a calculated guess? Let me just, these calculated guesses, they are not foolproof, okay? So you might go wrong there too, but still a calculated guess is better than a blind guess, right? All right, so suppose the sledge dogs were jumping happily, okay. So we might probably not say through the deep snow. We would probably say they were jumping happily in the deep snow, okay. If they were struggling, now when we use the verb struggling, the struggle, usually we use the preposition through, okay, usually. There are some prepositions that are generally used with a particular verb, right? So through is generally used with struggling. Enjoying themselves, let's look at option C. Enjoying themselves through the deep snow doesn't make sense. It would again be enjoying themselves in, right? Having fun through the deep snow, again not a suitable word. Having fun, if we were saying, it would be in the deep snow, right? So looking at this seems to be the answer, struggling through, okay. And probably when you are saying, because there is deep snow also, if they were just jumping, enjoying, having fun, you would probably not use deep. These are just a few things that you can keep in mind, okay. So because it is struggling, because there is through, and there is struggling, there is deep snow, keeping all this in mind, you can select B as the right answer. And of course, the best thing would be that you know the meaning of the word floundering. If you know the meaning, you will automatically select B, because floundering means struggling, usually in water or in snow, you know, that kind of struggling is called floundering. All right. So those who said struggling, I think a couple of you did. Good job. And I see some more also. I see Navneetan, Mahinder, and Priya, Manan, Prathamesh, who had selected B. Okay, you all have got it right. So I just explained to you also how you can make a calculated guess. All right, so let us move on to the next question. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts about what we are doing right now, please do mention on the chat. When I see that question, I'll take it up. Meanwhile, I will move on to the next one. All right. So this is a fill in the blank question. All right. So there is no word here. It's a blank and you need to select the right option, the option which will fill that blank. So let me show you the options and your time starts now. Look at each option and decide which one would be the right one. We have around 15 seconds more. Let me see if I can find any answers. I see one person has answered, waiting for the others. And our time's up. Do quickly give me your answers. All right. Okay, so these are the answers that I see. A, D, C. There is nobody saying B, I guess, right? A, D and C seem to be your answers. All right. So let us look at what the right answer is. Let me quickly read the sentence. Since one cannot read every book, one should be content with making a dash selection. Okay. Now, often what happens is the options that are given all seem right. Okay. Or more than one seem right. So you will have to decide, right, the best one among the given ones. So it may be that more 2 or 3 of them kind of fit in. So you cannot say definitely that it is wrong. But there will be one which is the best in the given context, right? So you have to select that right one. All right. So the choices given here are normal, sample, moderate and judicious. Okay. So let us quickly look at each of these words. One should be content with making a normal selection. Now that doesn't seem to make much sense. What is a normal selection? What is a normal? What is an abnormal selection? Right? It doesn't make sense here. So we can rule out option A. So let us strike that out. Okay. One should be content with making a sample selection. Now, what is a sample? We know what is a sample, right? A small part which indicates what the entire thing looks like. That is the definition of a sample. Now, how will you, now there are books and there are books in the world, right? How will you make a sample selection? Now, if you are talking about books, say you have 100 books and you're making a sample selection out of those is possible. Here, a lot of books are there, millions of books, probably even more than that are there, and making a sample selection of that and being satisfied. Content means being satisfied with it, right? Doesn't make much sense. So it is not as bad as normal, but this also doesn't seem right. So let us rule that out too. Okay, that takes us to the next option, which is moderate. Okay, now one should be content with making a moderate selection. Now, what is a moderate selection? Now, you can read a moderate number of books. Of course, because I cannot read all the books, I will read only a few. Okay, so that you can talk about in terms of moderate when you're talking about number. But making a moderate selection, moderate means medium, right? Making a moderate selection might not be the best word. Let us look at it again later if the remaining word doesn't fit in. Okay, so let us look at the last word, judicious. So what is judicious? So judicious, if you do not know what the meaning is, what you can remember is in terms of judiciary, right? Judges, judiciary, judges, judicious, they are, from the same root word. So what is this judicious? It is making right judgment, okay, exercising judgment. So that is the meaning of judicious. And look at the sentence, let's see if that fits in here. Since one cannot read every book, one should be content with making a judicious selection, which means a careful selection, or a selection where you have exercised judgment. Okay. Now, is this right in this context? Let's just think it over. So there are a lot of books, right? There are a lot of books in the world, and you cannot read every book. So then what will you read? You will have to be satisfied by making a careful selection. Okay, these are the good books. These are the books which the topics I am interested in, and I will read those. So you need to be satisfied with that. That is what it means. So judicious is indeed the right answer. The others don't fit in here, and in the given options, judicious is the best. So we select judicious. Okay, so those who said D, you got it right. I see a few of you who have given a D as the answer. I think it is Manan, and there is Mahinder, and yeah, yes. So D is, and Priya, you all are right. Judicious is the right answer. And in case you did not know the meaning of the word judicious, you know how to remember it now. You know the word judiciary, you know the word judges, and now you know the meaning of the word judicious, if you did not know. If you knew, good. All right. So I think we can move to the next question. Like I said again earlier, if there is a doubt that you have, please put it on the chat. Okay, so now we go to the spot the error question. Okay, now you know this is there's nothing I need to explain, right? 1, 2, 3 or 4. If there is an error, 1, 2 or 3. If there is no error, 4. Your time starts now. Read the sentence carefully and let me know which is the answer. Where is the error, or is it 4? You have half a minute more. A few seconds more. Let's see whether we have answers. All right. I see 1, 2. It would also be nice if you could tell me what the error is. Okay. If you're just saying 1, 2, 3, it may be you're just guessing, right? But if you tell me the reason, then I know that you all have thought it out. So it would be nice if you can tell me why 1 or 2 or 3. All right, time's up. So a majority of you, I think all of you in fact, have said 1. All right. Okay, so Mahinder says the should not be there. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see whether that is indeed the answer. Let me quickly read the sentence. Due to the heavy rains, the ship drowned in the middle of the ocean, and no error. Okay. And all of you have said it is part 1, and one of you has said it's because of the. So I'm assuming that everybody else is also saying it is because of the. Okay. Due to the heavy rains. All right. So it is true that we generally say due to heavy rains. Okay. But if we have already referred to the heavy rainfall in the past, which means before talking about this the would not be incorrect. Okay, though what you say is right, as in you generally say due to heavy rains, but if we have already referred to the rainfall maybe in the earlier sentence or earlier in the paragraph, it is not that the is wrong. Okay, so it's not part 1 which has the error. So anybody else would like to, or the ones who answered already would like to try and say, if it's not part 1, where is the error? I'll wait for a few seconds and then we will go to the answer. I would just like to see if you are able to detect the error. Okay, so I haven't got anything as yet. So let's go to the, you're probably wondering what it is. The error is in part 2 and the problem is with this word, drowned. Okay, now drown, what is drown? When you are underwater struggling to breathe and you die because of it. Somebody loses his life underwater trying to because they are unable to breathe, right? That is drowning. And drowning happens to only animate objects, right? Living things only, an animal or a human, right? So a ship cannot drown. Ship is an inanimate object. It cannot drown. What happens to a ship? It sinks, right? What is sinking? Getting submerged under the water. Now humans, even animate objects can sink. It is not that they can't sink, but inanimate objects cannot drown. Okay, inanimate objects can only sink, that is get submerged under the water. That is why the error is in part 2. It should have been the ship sank in the middle of the ocean. All right, so that is the error. So I hope you all have made a note of it and understood what is the what the problem was. Yes, right. So the others have I see that you all have given 2 as the answer, Priya, Mahendra and Atul, right? So it is not ship. We are talking about one ship, Priya, so it need not be ships. But the problem is with the word drowned. I hope you've got it, and keep that in mind, the difference between drown and sink, right, Manan? It is a tricky one, right? It wouldn't strike you at first sight. It wouldn't look like ship drowned is right. So that, you know, many of the questions are like that. They might not be really difficult, but they are tricky. Okay, all right. So with that, let us move on to the next question. All right, so you know, a lot of not lot actually, all the company aptitude tests have a reading comprehension section, right? So here is a reading comprehension passage for you, a very small one. Usually you have a long passage, a very small passage, and the question is also visible with the options. Your time starts now. So tell me what your answer is, A, B, C or D. So Shweta, on the WIPRO site, they have mentioned the dates. If it allows you to apply now, then you will have to, otherwise you'll have to keep looking and apply when the application button, you know, you are able to click on it and proceed. Okay. All right, we have a few seconds more and I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I am not got any answers as yet. Waiting. Oh, Venkat, is that are you saying C is the answer? Oh, I see a few of you giving me a couple of options. Well, you'll have to give me one, right? Because if you can't select more than one option, right? Okay, so I see A, C, D. A, C, D. All right. Okay, so let us see what the answer is. A, C and D is what I see. Okay, so reading this doesn't take too much time because it's a very short passage, and they've started by asking you the question, tame their spirit. Okay, now where is the tame their spirit here? Nothing would tame their spirits. Okay, so this is what it is. All right, so look at the options given. Suppress their ambitions, arouse their enthusiasm, develop their courage, curb their enthusiasm. Okay, so A, C and D is what you all selected. Nobody said B. Okay, now first of all look at this word tame. Okay, taming something means making something less, right? For example, taming an animal, for example, it is not making it more of something, less of something, maybe taming its wildness, right? So arouse, develop, these would not be the right words. Okay, so we can rule them out. B, anyways, none of you all selected. C also we can rule out. Okay, so tame would be, we could think of arouse and suppress and curb, right? Now what is this tame their spirits? Just look at, look around this sentence and see what is there. So what is written earlier? They loved their homes and fought bravely to defend the honor of their women folk. Nothing would tame their spirits. Perils only called forth their courage, and poverty only increased their power of resistance. Okay, now is there anything about ambition? Are they saying that they want to build larger kingdoms and things like that here? Okay, there is something about they are being warlike, that they like wars and so on, but where they are talking about taming their spirits, what comes after that is this, right? Perils are immediate dangers, okay, serious dangers, in case you did not know, perils. So what do you think is the answer? It would be not suppress their ambitions, but curb their enthusiasm, which means even if things were difficult, okay, they were facing difficulties, perils, if they were facing poverty, that was not, they did not succumb to it, or they did not feel upset about it. What it only increased their power of resistance. Okay, so that is what is coming after nothing would tame their spirits. All right, so the right answer is curb their enthusiasm. And if you know the meaning of tame their spirits or tame somebody's spirits, you will know that D is the right answer. If you did not know, you will have to look for a hint around that sentence and decide. Okay, so arouse and develop anyway is not the answer. Between suppress ambitions and curb enthusiasm, you have to select. And this is not about ambition. When you are taming somebody's spirit, you are curbing their enthusiasm. All right, so D is the right answer. So let me see how many of you have given D as the answer. Okay, I don't see anybody who's given D as the answer, so I hope you've got it now. D is the right answer. All right. Okay, so with that, let us move to the next question. All right, so This is your question and your time starts now. Sorry. I'll give you a minute. Quickly give me your responses. Read the question carefully. Aditi, if you were asked if there is any recruitment for 2020 pass outs, if there's anything happening, we are putting it on our Telegram group. Hope you are part of the group. Alright, so I see D as the answer. Mahender, Priya and Abradeep have answered. What about the others? Okay, so let us look at the what is the right answer. Now, one of the things that you'll have to do while reading your, while answering your test is read the question carefully. So, what are they saying here? Which of the following statements is not true, which means false? Which of these statements is false in the context of the passage? Okay, and suppose there is one sentence which is you're not sure of, but there is another sentence which you know is definitely false, then that is your answer. Okay. The Rajputs achieved eminence in history due to their great bravery. Okay, they talk about the honored place in the history of India and talk about them being a warlike people and brave and so on. So this is not a false statement. So this is not the answer. They were homely people and would fight for upholding women's honor. Now that is, they loved their homes and they defended the honor of their women folk. So this is also not a false statement. It's true. In moments of danger, they would exhibit great courage. Okay, so courage comes here. Perils, like I said, is immediate danger, right? So perils only called forth their courage, which means this is a true statement. So not the right answer, which leaves us only with D. That has to be the right answer. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. And you can quickly look at the sentence too. They could not, however, face the challenge of poverty. What is given here? Poverty only increased their power of resistance. So this is a false statement. So D is your right answer. An easy one, this one, right? All of you got it right. So the trick here would probably be if you did not see this not and then get confused. So read the question carefully. All right. So with that, we will move to the next question and the last one in this RC section, the reading comprehension section. All right, your time starts now. Okay, so I see a lot of people saying D. All right, so let us see if that is indeed the right answer. Okay, all right. So which of the following represents the central theme of the passage? Okay, the pride of the Rajputs and their sacrifices, the rise and fall of the Rajputs, the spirited heroes of Indian history. Alright, so let's quickly look at the pride of the Rajputs. They talk about them being proud, and nothing else, not much is written about their pride other than that, right? That they are a proud people is mentioned, that's it. So this would probably not be the best way to this wouldn't be the central theme of the passage. There is no talk about sacrifices at all, so that is also not the central theme of the passage. The rise and fall of the Rajputs, no, we know that they loved wars, but their rise and fall, again we are not talking about. So that leaves us with Rajputs, the spirited heroes of Indian history. That should be the right answer, and that kind of sums up the entire thing. We are talking about Indian history, you are talking about them being warlike, proud, patriotic, they would do anything to defend their women folk, they are courageous, and all sorts of things, good things written about them, right? So this would be the right one because it covers the entire paragraph. So D is the right answer, and this kind of question they ask, and sometimes it can be very tricky. Here it might not have been very tricky, but in some places it can be tricky. 2 or 3 options look good. So you will have to take a call on what is the best way the theme of the passage has been represented. Alright, good that you all got the the second and the third one right. First I think there was a slight problem, second and third was fine. So, and one good thing about this one is mainly the passage is small, right? So you can read it very easily. Alright, so with that we end the reading comprehension. Let's move on to the next question. If you have any questions, please put it on the chat related to what we discussed just now. Meanwhile, I will go to the next question. Another spot the error question, and your time starts now. So 1, 2, 3, or if there is no error, 4. You have a few seconds more. So waiting for your responses. Also tell me what the error is. Okay, so that's important, right? We need to detect what the error is, only then we will know where it is, right? So try to, it would be nice if you could put on the chat what the error is. Okay, all right. So I see 1, 2, 3. Okay, nobody says no error. So there is an error, right? All right. So let's look at what the error is. Let's look at the answer. To the ordinary man, in fact, the pealing of bells is a monotonous jangle and a nuisance, tolerably only when mitigated by remote distance and sentimental association. Okay, so sentence has been divided into 3 parts. So pealing of bells means the loud noise of bells. Okay, in case you did not know, I am telling you the meanings of the words too. So your vocabulary improves. If you knew it, very good. Jangle is a monotonous, a metallic sound. Okay, metallic noise is jangle. Mitigated is reduce, right? Mitigating risk means reducing risk. All right. Now coming to the error. So to the ordinary man, in fact, the pealing of bells, part 1 by itself looks okay, is a monotonous jangle and a nuisance. Part 2 by itself looks okay, tolerably only when mitigated by remote distance and sentimental association. Okay. Now here, look at this word tolerably. Okay. Tolerably is an adverb. Usually adverbs end with ly, right? It is an adverb. And what is an adverb? An adverb is a word that describes either a verb or an adjective. Okay, adverb needs to describe a verb or an adjective. Now, tolerably, what verb or what adjective is it describing? What are they saying? The pealing of bells is a monotonous jangle and a nuisance, tolerably only when. Okay, they are probably talking about the pealing of bells or specifically nuisance. Okay, now pealing of bells. So let's look at it as because it's come immediately after nuisance. Let us say that this tolerably refers to the nuisance part. Now nuisance is a noun, right? And if it's describing nuisance, then it cannot be an adverb, but it has to be an adjective. An adverb cannot describe a noun. Adjective describes a noun. So tolerably cannot be the word. What it should have been is the adjective tolerable. So this nuisance is tolerable only when, or the pealing of bells is tolerable only when mitigated, which means reduced by remote distance, which means when the bells are ringing far away, then it is tolerable. Or you have got some sentimental association with the ringing of the bells. Maybe when you were a child, there was a church nearby and there was loud ringing of bells all the time, or there was a temple nearby and there was ringing of bells. So a sentimental association is there, then it is tolerable. Okay, so that is what the sentence means. So you can't write tolerably, it has to be tolerable. So the error is in part 3. Part 3 is the answer. And let me see if how many of you had given 3 as the answer. I see Divya had given 3 as the answer. Okay. All right. So the other parts, it should be a monotonous jangle and nuisance. No, that is fine. See, these are all the way you are, the style that you are using while writing. So it's all right to say a monotonous jangle and a nuisance, right? If you want to stress on the two separate words, a will come in both places. I am saying because Mahendra says that a in 2 places is wrong. And Samanchi Srikar says to a ordinary man. First of all, it should have been, if it would not be a, it would be an. But here we are talking in general, we can say to the ordinary man. All right. So that is also not incorrect. So I have told you what the incorrect part is. It should be tolerable and not tolerably. All right. So part 3 is the answer. I know this also is probably not very easy to detect the error, but that's why we are doing these things, so you know where to look for in the sentence for the error. All right. So if you have any questions, please put it on the chat. Meanwhile, I will move on to the next question. Okay, so you have 3 sentences here. I want you to tell me which of these is the right sentence. Okay, what would be the best of these 3? What would be the right one? Which one would be the right one? And your time starts now. So you need to tell me whether it's A, B or C. All right. So I see A as the answer. Priya and Srikar have given A. What about the others? think about what you would give as the right answer and type in, please. Don't look at the other answers and give the answer. If it's your test, you are answering that exam right now, what would you select? Okay, all right. So I see A and B. Okay, so time's up. Let us look at what is the right answer. The three sentences are: the French are industrious and frugal, people of France are industrious and frugal, French are industrious and frugal. Okay, so if you did not know the meaning of frugal, it is you are being careful with the spending of money. Okay, somebody is living a frugal life, meaning they are very careful with the way they are spending. Okay, industrious is related to the word industry, which is hard working, right? So that is about the meanings of the words. Now we want to know which one is the best sentence, right? Now when we use the word French, okay, so we are talking about French, the language French, okay, or we are referring to people, or it could be an adjective describing the culture, French culture, maybe French customs, maybe. Okay, so French could mean any of these things, right? Now when we are talking about the people of France collectively, we will not say French are industrious and frugal. Collectively they are called the French. Okay, we will also not call them people of France. Though while talking we might say people of France, it should be the people of France, and the best would be the French. Okay, we can't use only French. When you use only French, it generally means language, or French, when you are using it as an adjective. We can also use only French when you are talking about people, but not all people. For example, I might say the people I met this morning were French. There I cannot say the people I met this morning were the French, because they are not all the French people combined, right? So the right answer is A, and I think a majority of you did give A as the answer. All right, so it is not B or C, and I see Priya, Shrikar, Abradeep, Prathamesh, Divya, who have given A as the answer, and you all are right. Those who gave B and C, and those who thought B and C also, because not all of you have responded. I hope it's clear why it is the French. Okay, the people of France collectively, when you use it referring to them collectively, we say the French. All right, so let us move on to the next question. Like I said earlier, if there are any questions, please put it on the chat. Your time starts now. Spot the error. Sorry, I did not start your timer, and it should not take you 1 minute, because I think this one is quite simple. Let's see what answers we get. Yeah, Mahinder, I think you are referring to the previous one. People of France, we do not say people of France are, we will say the people of France. We will need to use, and here we are talking about the French collectively, right? So it would be better to call it the French, call them the French, okay? Or the people of France, not just say people of France. Okay, so I see people giving me the answers. It would be nice if you told me why. Why is your option the right answer? What should it have been? If you say part 1 is the error, what is the error? If it's part 2, what is the error? If it's part 3, what is the error? Yeah, time's up. So waiting for your response is the explanation. It would be nice if you could give me that. I'll wait for a few seconds for your explanation. If I don't get it, then I will move on with the explanation. Okay. So if you are saying 1, there should be a reason, right? Why you said 1. You feel there is something wrong. What is that something? Okay. So probably you're not sure, or you all are still typing. Anyway, let me go ahead. If you all are typing, go ahead and type 2. I will look at it once I'm done with the explanation. Okay. So those who said 1, all of you in fact who said 1, you are right. 1 is the answer. So he was for all. That doesn't sound okay, even if you don't know what the error is. Selling the car and buying a bicycle, there doesn't seem to be any error there, right? So comparatively it is simple, I think, to at least detect where the error is. Now what the error is, I'm not sure. Okay, I see those answers, right? It should be he was all for. Okay, it should be he was all for. Now all for is a phrase which means strongly in favor of. Okay, I am all for something. I am all for going for the picnic tomorrow. Okay, which means I am strongly in favor of going for a picnic tomorrow. Okay, so that is a phrase which you should know, and it is not for all. The words are right, the order is incorrect. It should be all for. Another phrase that you use is for all you know. You might use it, or you might have heard people using it. For all you know, he will not come today. Okay, which means when you are saying for all you know, you are saying perhaps or maybe he will not come today. Okay, so that is also a phrase, just like all for, meaning something else altogether. I am just telling you because it is connected to the same words. Alright, so good, you all have detected part 1 as the error. It should be all for. Alright, so with that, let us move on to the next question. Good that you all got this one right. Okay, your time starts now. So instead of this part, you need to say which of these, you need to tell me which of these can be used. One of them is the same as the given one. So if you feel that there is no change required, that too you need to mention. Okay, so look at the options very quickly and give me the answer. I again did not start your timer. I have started it now. Okay, so we have 15 seconds more. A, B, C, D or E? Okay, I have received one response. Okay. All right, I have received a couple of answers. Okay, E and D is what I see. All right, time's up. Let's quickly go. Okay, so these kind of questions are called sentence improvement questions. Okay, so it might not be that there is something very clearly grammatically incorrect. You have to select the best option. It might, the options given or even the given statement, it may be grammatically wrong, or it might not be a good way of writing the sentence. So among the given options, you have to select the best option. And I see D and E as the answers that you have given. All right. And somebody saying C too. All right. Okay. Okay. So let us quickly understand this and let us see which is the right answer. Okay. So his co-workers praised both his determination and the way he paid attention to detail. All right. Now, look at this. Okay. His co-workers praised both and they mentioned what that both is. Now, this word both. All right. So, for example, let me just use that word both. Both have come. Okay. There both is a pronoun because instead of mentioning the names of people, you are saying both, right? But both can also be used in this kind of situation where it is, where you are using both and it forms a correlative pair of conjunctions. These are called correlative pair of conjunctions, which means that these two are used as a pair. All right, if you are writing both and mentioning what those both are, obviously you have to write and. All right, so both and are a pair, just like not only but also. Okay, no sooner and than. These are all pairs, right? Likewise, I'm sorry, this is not are, this is and. So both and these are a correlative pair of conjunctions. Okay, and in an earlier session, we had discussed the concept of parallelism. Okay, so parallelism is, just give me a second. Parallelism is nothing but a balance that you bring in the structure of the sentence. How do you get that balance in what context? One of the contexts is when you are using a correlative pair of conjunctions like this one, or also if it is not only and but also. Whatever comes after both, after the first conjunction and what comes after the second, okay, there should be a balance or similarity. Okay, now what do we mean by that? Let's understand by looking at this sentence. See what comes after both and what comes after and. After both, you are writing his determination, and after and, you are writing the way he paid attention to detail. Okay, this sentence by itself makes sense, but is this the best structure? So, to understand how do we decide what is the best structure? Ideally, just like here you have a noun, his determination. So, there is a pronoun, possessive pronoun here followed by a noun. Okay, it would be nice if after and also there is a noun. Okay, and a noun like this one, not this where you are explaining something and the way he paid attention to detail, that is a long explanation. It would be nice if we had a couple of words, 1 or 2 words, okay, at the max 3 words, similar like this one instead of saying this. So let's see if there are any options where it's, this is happening. And the way he paid attention to detail, that is the same as the one given. So let us rule that out for now and see if there's a better one. And also praised his attention to detail. Now when you say both, his determination and also praised. Now that doesn't make sense, right? You're saying both. So you can't write also. So we can rule that out too. His attention to detail. Now look at this. His co-workers praised both his determination and his attention to detail. Now that sounds compact and the sentence structure sounds better, at least better than the first two. So let's keep that for now and we will look at the others and then decide. Praised both his determination and they praised the way he paid attention to detail. Now that again, this is not in balance, right? Both his determination and they praised. So we can rule that out. Both his determination and also they praised. That is also not okay. I told you both you are using. Why are you using also again? No. That leaves us with C. This is the right one. So just like there is a possessive pronoun and a noun here, here also there is a possessive pronoun and a noun. Of course, attention to detail you will have to say, you can't just write and his attention. So you are explaining that a bit, but that's fine. So C is the best improvement. Okay, so C is the answer. I think one person did mention C as the answer. Let me quickly check. Right, Prathamesh mentioned C as the answer. You are right. Okay, and I hope you've understood why it is. All right. Okay, so let us go to one last question. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, let me know on the chat. Okay, so this is your question. And your time starts now. So you've been given a sentence, a part of it has been underlined. So what does the underlined part mean? Does it mean A? Does it mean B? Does it mean C or D? That is what we are asking you. Priya has answered, waiting for the others. Okay, a few seconds more. All right. So I see B and D as the answers, right? Okay. So let's see what the explanation is. All right. Now, give somebody the cold shoulder is an idiom. Okay, you know what idioms are, right? They are phrases which mean something else. So when you are giving somebody the cold shoulder, you are not actually giving them the shoulder, right? So it's an idiom, and it means something else. Now what it means is the question. Okay, is it scolded me? Is it insulted me? Is it abused me? Or is it ignored me? Now a lot of these idioms, they have some kind of story behind them, right? Suddenly it would not, an idiom won't get created. It will be based on something. And sometimes these stories are also just folklore. It might not be even a real story. We don't know, but they make interesting reading. So let me quickly, tell you what this is. So earlier, in probably a couple of centuries ago in Britain, it was said that, when people were invited for dinner, okay. Now, when you invite somebody for dinner, you would give them warm food, right? We don't give them cold food. We give them warm food. Now, if there was somebody that the hosts did not like much but has been invited to, it was said that they would give them a cold shoulder of mutton. Okay, that mutton part, the shoulder part which was cold. And this cold shoulder of mutton was taken to be a poor man's meal at that time, And it is cold too, which means, in British weather, eating cold food it wouldn't be something nice. So that would indicate that they didn't particularly like that guest. Okay, so whether this is a real story, whether this is its real origin or not, nobody knows, but that was supposed to be why this idiom came up. Okay, and another simpler explanation is, if somebody came up to you, okay, and you did not like that person or don't want to talk to that person, you will turn, right, turning your shoulder at that person, because you don't want to talk, so you will probably turn to the other side, which means your shoulder will point to that person, right? So that could also be the meaning. However, the translation of it is ignored me. Okay, so when do you turn and not look at that person? You want to ignore that person, right? You turn your shoulder. So that is what gave me the cold shoulder means. Ignored me is the right answer. So majority of you got it right. Okay, so I hope those who did not know the meaning of the idiom, please make a mental note of it, or note it down. This is what it means. And English has a lot of idioms, so it makes, if it interests you, do look at the different kinds of idioms and understand what they mean. All right. Okay, so if there's anything that you want to say, you can put it on the chat, any questions related to this. Otherwise, we will bring this session, we'll end the questions. Just give me a second. All right, so that brings us to the end of the questions. And like I told you earlier, or if you are not here earlier when I spoke about this, if you are not part of our Telegram group yet, please do be a part. You will know when sessions are happening, you will know when drives are happening, okay, and any other information related to placements that will help you is there up on the Telegram channel. So please do be a part. The link will be shared on the chat. Right, the link is up there. And also we are very happy to do these sessions for you, and we do it with a lot of interest and enthusiasm, and we would like, if you were to if you do something, it would enthuse us even more. Okay, we would be even more motivated to conduct these sessions for you, and conduct these very frequently. That is, if you could please leave a review for us on Google. A review link is being shared on the chat. So please do leave a review for us. That will really motivate us. So Prathamesh, if the you will get this the result on email. So if you you'll have to look at your email. All right. Okay. So that's about our Telegram group and the review. And please do follow us on social media. We are on Facebook and Insta, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And our contact details, our email and our phone numbers are there on this screen. Our site is learn.codemithra.com. And with that, we bring this session to an end. Thank you so much for being here on a Saturday morning and being a part of the verbal session. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you learned a lot in this session, and continue to prepare for your WIPRO tests. Thank you and have a great weekend. Priya, you'll have to go to the WIPRO site and check if the apply button is active. Then you will be able to open it and register. As far as I know, it is not, the registration link is not open, but do check. Yes, Aditi, if there is anything happening for 2020, we will let you know on our Telegram group. All right, people. So thank you.